Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Best Investing Money Management channel on YouTube. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the top 3 stocks that I am buying right now. There's been so much volatility, so much up and down in the market. So it's always smart to kind of keep investing and kind of change your strategy as you go. So the very first stock that I want to talk about is Berkshire Hathaway. Now this is the famous Warren Buffett stock. This is the company he owns. And we all know him as being that world-class investor. And proven again, he's really showed us that in the past year, he knows what he's talking about and he knows what he is doing, right? We have this absolute beautiful upward trend by looking at the chart. You guys can see it does have some highs here at about $362. And one thing you may have noticed, this massive sell-off, right? This is a $100 sell-off. So for me, that just brings opportunity, buy-in at a more affordable pricing. Now, Warren Buffett brings in billions upon billions of dollars per year in the form of dividends. So this is money that he's already invested that's growing on the dividend side and appreciation because almost all of his stocks are growing. Now, comparing him to the general market is he is growing at 17% per year, and the S&P 500 or the general market is growing at around 9.8%. So he is just about doubling it. And you will notice that we've seen some sell-off, right? Like I said, for me, this just looks as a for sale sign to pick up a couple of shares at more affordable pricing. Right now, it's like buying this stock all the way back in April of 2021. So more than a year ago, it's like buying this stock again. So for me, absolute no-brainer to start picking up a couple of shares. And the sell-off from this looks large, but it's only about 13%. Comparing it to the S&P 500, which has sold off about 23%, right now, always a good opportunity. Pick up a couple of shares and let this thing ride. But moving on to stock number 2. Stock number 2 is Marathon Oil, ticker symbol MRO. Now, MRO, Marathon, we've seen a ton of growth out of this thing out over the past year. And a lot of people like to say, oh, Carter, well, once gas prices get lower, we're going to see a fall from this. And yes, I understand where you're coming from. But looking at this earnings, there is no slowdown in the next 6 months to a year that I personally see. The company brought in and expected, they brought in about $1.7 billion. And this beat expectations by Wall Street by about 40 million. And right when they announced this, right, we saw this decline, which just a lot of volatility, a lot of emotion in the market, and right here, dividend of about 8 cents per quarter here. So for me, this one, massive opportunity. I definitely see this thing in the next probably about 4 to 6 months start working its way back up. We had about a 5% sell-off just from earnings and volatility in the general market. So I always think it's always good opportunity. Buy it at a more affordable price and just hold it. Let this thing ride up top. Now, moving on to the last one that I want to talk about. I've talked about it in the past. It's ticker symbol WM. This one here is also known as Waste Management. Waste Management is a company that does well whether the market's going up, whether it's going down, whether it's just consolidating. People need to get rid of trash. People need to get rid of sewage. And that's just it, right? That's where they make their money. Looking at it here, you guys can see dividend of 65 cents per quarter. So you're going to be getting great growth. You're going to be getting a dividend to start paying you, passive income. So this is something you're not going to have to be actively working towards. And the earnings here, beating expectations. They brought in about 4.6 billion, beating expectations by about 214 million. If they would have announced this earnings, a couple months ago, probably in December, this stock would have been easily at about 175. But just given the state of the market that we're in right now, so much sell-off, people are trying to get rid of stock, people are trying to get in, just a lot of up and down. I definitely think for me, this is just an absolute no-brainer investment because this isn't a company you're going to have to worry about closing their doors tomorrow. People need this stuff, whether the market's going up or down. And if we just go ahead and we look at the market here, you'll notice just the massive amounts of sell-off, right? Went from about $4,800 all the way down to $3,600. By definition, we are in a recession. We are in a crash. And anytime you have this amount of fear, people aren't going to spend money like they normally do. And I think with that being said, during this time, this should always be the time that you are buying, not selling. So guys, these are the top 3 stocks that I am buying right now for massive growth in this bear market, in this recession. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. If you have any questions, ask them down below. And right now, we're going to be posting a whole bunch of vlogs on my family channel. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. I'll put a link to that in the bio so you guys can subscribe and see kind of where I'm at right now. Because I know it's not the usual studio, usual setup, but we're having a ton of fun right here. So guys, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys later. Remember to stay happy, stay positive, and stay safe. Take care.